I just sensed that there could be something in my family history that would be disappointing.
Negative.
Negative, yes. I thought I was going to have that kind of moment. And Skip had asked me to do it for a long time. And I finally decided to do it because I thought it'd be helpful for my children.
The sudden departure of Joy Behar from The View has sparked a lot of debate and speculation among critics, fans, and media outlets. Joy Behar, the veteran host of the daytime chat program, was famous for her direct and often controversial comments, which frequently drew both praise and criticism. Her departure seems to have caught many people off guard, given how well-liked she was on the show. Caroline Leavitt, who sued Behar on behalf of someone else, was involved in a legal battle at the time of her departure. Many wondered whether the lawsuit was the main reason for Joy Behar's abrupt departure from The View. Joy Behar was accused of defamation in the case, with claims that her criticism of Leavitt was harsh and untrue. As the case gained momentum, the disagreement over Behar's departure quickly escalated from a minor quarrel to a serious issue. Joy Behar was no stranger to controversy during her time on The View, but one particular incident seems to have reached a breaking point. The legal repercussions of the complaint put ABC officials in a difficult position. They had to consider how to respond to the growing public outrage and whether drastic steps were necessary to maintain the show's reputation. Sources claim that the network was secretly debating a variety of options, such as publicly apologizing, suspending Joy Behar, or even cutting all ties with her. Joy Behar remained defiant throughout this ordeal, brushing off the criticism as an exaggeration of her sense of humor. Nevertheless, as legal and public pressure mounted, it became increasingly difficult for ABC to ignore the issue. When the network eventually announced her departure, many people wondered whether it was a result of the backlash or a voluntary leave of absence. Concerns over The View's future direction and its ability to recover from this public upheaval remain ongoing. There was an immediate pushback, with audience members visibly reacting in disapproval and co-hosts exchanging glances that showed discomfort with Behar's comments. Behar's attempt to downplay the remark as a joke was ineffective. Many believed the statement went too far, considering the progressive stance The View often takes on issues like women's rights and gender equality. The issue quickly escalated from a normal dispute on the show to a full-fledged controversy, endangering both Behar's and the program's reputations. Joy Behar's comment about Caroline Leavitt was not only offensive, but also sparked significant backlash, as it seemed to contradict her long-standing advocacy for women's empowerment. As an ardent feminist, Behar has spent years championing women's rights and equality in the workplace and society at large. In her previous remarks, she often emphasized the importance of valuing women for their achievements, intelligence, and abilities, rather than reducing them to their appearance.
European.
Yeah.
I know. It's weird because when you look at her, my mother's blonde and she has light eyes, and my whole family looks like that. So I think inside, I sort of knew that this was my history, and that's probably why I didn't want to do it. And I spoke to my mom about it. She was deeply disappointed. She actually cried about it.
Given this context, her comment about Leavitt was particularly ironic, as it seemed to imply that she had been chosen based on her beauty. Behar's comments raised doubts about her previous stances. The remark was not only inappropriate, but also seemed to betray the very ideals she had long defended. Since she had been vocal about challenging traditional gender norms and expectations, particularly in media and professional settings, her comment was seen as a significant contradiction. Viewers and commentators highlighted the irony, noting that Behar, who had been outspoken in her support of women in leadership positions, had herself diminished a woman's value based on her appearance. Following this incident, a debate emerged about whether Behar was a true feminist or merely spoke about feminist ideals without fully embodying them. Behar's situation was further complicated by the perception that she had inadvertently undermined other women who had fought to be respected for their skills and expertise rather than their looks. By making such a statement, she seemed to reinforce the harmful stereotype that a woman's worth is determined by her beauty, an idea in direct contrast to the progressive stance on which she had built her public persona. The backlash was swift and severe, with many questioning how someone with such a strong feminist voice could make a comment that so clearly contradicted her position. Following Joy Behar's controversial comment, Caroline Leavitt reacted swiftly and decisively. Instead of merely condemning Behar's remarks publicly, Leavitt chose to take legal action by suing her for defamation and character assassination. Leavitt claimed that Behar's comments were not only false, but also made maliciously to damage her reputation and standing in her profession. This decision to pursue legal action signaled that Leavitt was not willing to ignore the issue or dismiss it as a joke. By introducing legal implications, the lawsuit elevated the controversy beyond social media outrage and popular opinion. Leavitt's case argued that Behar's remark implied she had been hired more for her appearance than her qualifications or skills. This kind of public criticism, Leavitt claimed, had the potential to significantly damage her reputation and how she was perceived by both the public and her industry peers. The lawsuit quickly became the focal point of the growing media frenzy surrounding Behar's comment. Beyond one woman defending her reputation, the case raised broader concerns about the boundaries of free speech and the consequences of publicly disparaging someone's professional standing. Legal experts weighed in on whether Behar's remarks constituted slander and whether ABC, the network airing The View, could be held accountable for allowing the comment to go unchallenged. As the lawsuit progressed, Behar and ABC found themselves in increasingly precarious positions. Initially dismissing the criticism as overblown, Behar soon found that the legal pressure placed significant stress on the network. What started as a minor controversy quickly evolved into a full-fledged legal battle attracting widespread media and public attention.
She said, maybe that's why I have been so connected to Black culture, because it's an atonement in my spirit. And I received that. I also found out that, and there were slaves on both sides of her family, mothers and fathers, but we are 7% indigenous Puerto Rican.
Caroline Leavitt's lawsuit dramatically altered the nature of the controversy surrounding Joy Behar's comments. In the case, Behar was accused of defamation, with claims that her remarks about Leavitt's job were not only false, but also intended to harm Leavitt's reputation. The lawsuit intensified the situation, transforming it from a public argument into one with serious legal implications. As media attention on the complaint grew, scrutiny turned toward ABC, raising critical questions about the show's and the network's responsibility in airing Behar's remarks. Public outrage over Behar's behavior and ABC's perceived inaction escalated as a result of the lawsuit. Legal analysts speculated on whether Behar's statements could be considered slander and whether ABC would face legal consequences for failing to address the issue. The situation posed a significant dilemma for the network, which had previously dealt with Behar-related controversies but never to this extent. As the legal battle intensified, ABC entered damage control mode, weighing its next steps carefully. The network had to decide whether to take responsibility for Behar's comments, issue a public apology, or implement disciplinary action. Given that the lawsuit threatened to damage ABC's reputation, the network could not afford to ignore the mounting crisis. Legal action suggested that Behar's comment had far-reaching consequences and that the network would continue to face repercussions. Amidst the growing legal struggle and public outrage over Joy Behar's comments, ABC officials were under immense pressure to make critical decisions about her future on The View. A typical on-air argument had quickly escalated into a serious issue with potential legal ramifications and widespread public indignation.
I have an ancestor, my third great-grandfather, immediately registered to vote, even though he was illiterate. And he voted with an X, Dean Cummings with an X. And then he was threatened with lynching by the KKK, by others in the South.
As Leavitt's lawsuit gained momentum, ABC executives reportedly held urgent behind-the-scenes discussions. While some staff members supported Behar's right to express her opinions as part of the show's often controversial nature, others privately acknowledged that the situation had spiraled out of control. The combination of public backlash and legal pressure made it impossible for ABC to continue business as usual. ABC faced several options for its next move. One possibility was issuing a public apology from Behar, or the network, to acknowledge the harm caused by her remarks. While this might have mitigated some immediate fallout, some insiders speculated that it would not be enough given the severity of the backlash. A suspension for Behar was also considered, potentially allowing the network to manage the crisis without permanently severing ties with one of its most outspoken hosts. Some even speculated that ABC might ultimately part ways with Behar altogether, marking the end of her long tenure on the show. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to Daily Finder.